Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Guru Brahma, Guru Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. There are 3-4 types of qualities of experiences that we can gather when we come in contact with the world. First kind of experience is in relation to someone who is contemporary. Okay? All the persons working in the same rank in the office, that relationship. So one person wants to pull the leg of other, how he is progressing. See, it is something like in a school there was an exhibition of the crabs, and they had kept different Malaysian crabs, Indonesian crabs, then Sri Lankan and Indian. All the 3 pots or the jars were covered, but the Indian crab container was not covered. So I told that girl, I said, hey, you have forgotten to put. No, it's not forgotten. But they will go out. No, they are Indian crabs. When one goes up, the other pulls down. So this is the relative experience, I versus you. See? This relationship is for you to understand example of the husband and wife. This is one relationship. Second relationship is that of the subordinate and the boss. What is this relationship? The relationship is based on 2 rules, some rules. Rule number 1, the boss is always right. Rule number 2, but if the boss is wrong, then refer to rule number 1. Only surrender, no problem. The third relationship is that of the creator and the created. Relationship between the father and the son, the boss and the subordinate. So, that which is a big problem and issue for the subordinate is not at all important for the boss. Because from his standpoint, these problems are not serious, don't take it serious. See, now these relationships we have to understand from the life point of view. First relationship, relative, I versus you. Second relationship is I versus my creator, the God. So I versus you is the samsara, where karma is very important. So we are speaking about duties. Then the second relationship is I versus my creator, my God, the path of devotion. Here the individual is no more a duty-oriented personality, but he is a devotion-oriented individual. So we give up the duty burden and become the devotee. The moment we are devotee, we are not against anybody. So when the duty orientation begins, we are caught up in the I. But when the devotion oriented begins, we have surrendered the I. Then the third relationship is how the God is looking at his creation. His vision will be Name Dveshosti Na Priya. Nobody is dear to me and nobody is not dear to me. And the last is the one which Avadhuta is speaking. See, from the absolute standpoint, relativity is only imagined. It is not real. And once we recognize this, that the relative existence is imagined in the absolute. Thereafter, becoming serious about the imaginary things is not the way of the wise. See? This is what the teacher is coming. Sabhayadyantarosi tvam shivas sarvatra sarvada itastata katham bhranta pradhavasi pishachavat. See? Sa bahya abhyantara asitvam shivaha. You alone are the reality in and out. What is the meaning of in and out? In is the sense of individuality, the jiva, the soul. Out is the whole world. See? So the one reality with the conditioning of the names and the forms is called as the world, and the same reality with the conditioning of the Panchakoshas is called as the jiva. So if we are able to withdraw our attention from those factors which are creating the duality, namely the names and the forms and the limitations of the Panchakoshas, what remains is one absolute truth. Therefore, sabhayabyantarosi tvam shivas sarvatra sarvada. Sarvatra, this is not only during meditation, it is 24/7. Sarvada, under all conditions, every moment. Therefore, idastataha katham bhrantaha pradhavasi pishachavat. Why are you running from here to there? Like example, pishachavat, like somebody possessed by a ghost. Running from here to there, you know. I want to go to Himalayas. Then I will do their meditation. So you go to Himalaya, up to there it is okay. After going there is no attached bathroom. Those who are attached to the bathroom, how they can think of God? See, friends. Therefore, we are unnecessarily running from this place to that place like a mad person. Be yourself. Take the example of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. He was at peace under all conditions. We don't run here and there only physically. More than physically running here and there, we run mentally. We are hardly where we are physically. Therefore, idastata katham bhranta pradhavasi pishachavat. Yesterday I told you, try this. Wherever there is a movement, there is samsara. No movement, no samsara. It is for this purpose in every religion. They help us if we are able to get the message. And help is through giving the mala in the hand. A child, when he or she is in the womb of the mother, the first thing that the child gains the experience is that of the rhythm of the heartbeat of the mother. First experience. And therefore, when the child is born and if the child is crying, what the mother does, puts him in the lap and start banging with a terrible noise. The child prefers to keep quiet than to listen to that terrible music. The idea is rhythm is created. See? Then to maintain the rhythm, we are given a mala in the hand. So be rhythmic. Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram. But if this is not understood, we follow our own shortcuts in doing the japa. One person told me this. I was so thrilled to see the genius. You know, the idiots are more genius than the wise. He said, I do 25 malas, Swamiji. How many more I should do? I said, what is your mantra? Om? No. Maha mantra. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. 25 malas? You must be spending whole day? No. 5 minutes. I said, do you feed it to the computer or what? No. I said, show me how you do. You took out the mala. Suppose this is the mala. And he started. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 25 times I play and the japa is over. See the genius. The idea is we get established in the rhythm. After that is done, drop that. Then the next rhythm is the rhythm with your breathing. So, breathe in Hari, breathe out Om, Hari, Om, Hari, Om. When thus the Kriya Shakti breathing and the Jnana Shakti, the chanting of Hari Om, when they become perfectly synchronized, then the rhythm slowly dies away. And we come to a point where there is hardly any breathing going on. In Yoga Shastra, this is called as Kevala Kumbhaka. In Vasishtha Samhita as well as in the Yagyavalkya Smriti, they talk of this particular Kevala Kumbhaka. It is not the Puraka Kumbhaka or the Rechak Kumbhaka. Puraka Kumbhaka is you breathe in and hold. The moment you hold your breath, Gati is stopped. Mind stops. Samsara disappears. Or Rechaka Kumbhaka. You breathe out, hold your air outside. They are also the same effect. But here, efforts are involved. But when the Kevala Kumbhaka happens, that time no efforts are involved. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avastha. Then we come back to our own essential being. This is what the teacher says. Instead of running here and there, see? Particularly NRIs. Many times, they write us email. Comedy, I am coming for 2 weeks to India. Can you suggest me some places where I can find some good guru? I said, we have got many guru malls. You go and do thak and find out which is a better guru for you. See, friends, instead of running anywhere, learn from your own experience. You will discover the principle of Guru that you are. Don't run here and there. See, friends. Therefore, itastataha katham bhranta pradhavasi pishachavat. Why are you running here and there like a person possessed by the ghost? Sayogascha vyogascha vartate nachate name natvam naham jagannedam sarvatmaiva kevalam. Sayogascha vyogascha vartate nachate name. Can we say that the north is separated from the south by something? Can we say the east is separated from the west? See, whether you call it as the north, east, west, south, it is essentially space alone. See, friends, the differences are apparent, they are not real. See, the students in medical college, they study the anatomy on a dead body. And when they have to do the operation, they don't say, unless this fellow is killed, I can't do the operation because I learned it only on the dead body. He is the living one. No. Once you learn the principle of anatomy, it is common for everyone. See, therefore, the separation and togetherness, it has never happened. It is only our imagination. Say, take this example. When we are awake, sleeping together, we fight, we shout, we ask, we discuss, we argue, we become frustrated, and in that mode we go to sleep. And when we go to sleep, all the differences dissolve. Now the question is, if we were really separate, then in the deep sleep, why we do not experience the sense of otherness? Because it is only imagined by the mind. See, before we go to sleep in a jungle, we are afraid. My God, if some tigers comes and afraid. But once we are sleeping and we start snoring and the tigers run away. ये कौन सा प्राणी आया है? See friends, therefore संयोगश्च वियोगश्च वर्तते न च तेन मे. We never work together, we never can be other from each other, because there is but one reality. So on that one space we have superimposed the conditioning of the relationship between earth and the sun and created an illusion of north, east, west, south. See friends, all these lines are imaginary. They may be experienced, they may be useful, that does not mean they are real. If we really want to come to the point where Avadhuta is, two things we have to remove from our head. Because something is experienced, it is real? No. Because something is useful, it is real? No. See? For example, the longitudes and latitudes on the globe, are they real? But are they not useful? Because something is experienced, something is useful, that does not mean it is real. And if this point is correctly understood, we will never ask a question. Okay, suppose I am Brahman, so what? What is the use? The moment this question comes in our mind, what is the use of living in the absolute reality? Understand, we have the genes of a baniya. What will I get? What is the benefit? No benefit. It is a bargain where you have to be available for a total loss. If you are told that if you want to sleep, be ready to give up everything. Don't we do every day the same thing? In the deep sleep, if I had to give up everything, my husband, my wife, my children, my property, my abilities, my debilities, my achievement, my failure, ultimately I have to give up I. Why should I go to sleep? And suppose I go to sleep, what do I get? Ask those who are sleeping. They don't talk, they are at peace with it. Therefore, Sanyoga, Viyoga, these are only mental hallucinations, it has no meaning. Natvam naham jagannedam, sarva eva atma kevalam. All the differences, the word objectivity in perception, the jiva, the soul, the individual, subjectivity in perception, and the God who is controlling their relationship is parokshata, it's distant imagination. You know, this Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, these three principles, it is something like a cricket match. One day cricket match, this is everyday cricket match. In a cricket match, there are three parties. One is the batting one, the second is the fielding one, and the third is the umpire. So the individual, the Jiva, that is the batting part team. And the world is a fielding, a bowling team. And Ishvara, the God, is an umpire. When there is a sixer, the umpire doesn't appreciate, he simply says, you watch their expressions on the face. If somebody bowls perfectly well, good length, he will not say one word. But if there is a wide ball, immediately you are done wrong. And out of these three, suppose one team gives walkover. No, Baba, you are having very strong bowlers, we can't stand, we give walkover. If one team goes away, will the other team remain on the ground? And when these two teams have gone, what will be the umpire do? Eat mungfali. They are all mutually related and mutually dependent on their existence. And when all of them go away, what happens to the ground? Nothing. ground is as it is. In the same manner, with the conditioning of the names and the forms, objectivity of the world is created. With the conditioning of the Panchakoshas, the subjectivity is created, and their relationship is established by another principle called as the God, and all of them are supported by one reality. And out of these three, we have access only to our sense. See? Because if I disappears, the world disappears, the God disappears. When we are sleeping in deep sleep, snoring away, that time we are a man or a woman, young or old, Hindu or Muslim, rich or poor, Indian or American, none. Because there the mind is totally enfolded. See friends, therefore, Natvam Naham Jagannedam Sarva Atma Eva Kevalam. When our attention is on the differences, when we speak of differences, when we promote differences, we are living in the world of ignorance, incomplete knowledge. But when we talk of oneness, when we discover a common denominator, then all the differences dissolve. And this is the ultimate in the spiritual unfoldment. Shabdadi panchakasyasya naivasi dvamnate punaha tvameva paramam tattvam ataha kim paritapyase. Shabdadi panchakasyasya na eva asitvam. This whole world was never yours. And none of the things in the world ever said that you are mine. See friends, start from your own body. The body was never ours. It is created by the parents. On this one principle you work, friends. Instead of simply taking the mala and then don't create sound pollution. Instead of that, work on this. On what ground we have accepted the body to be me? And for the fun of it, suppose I am not the body. What is the load of this statement? Work on this. Then we come to know this world begins from the point of our body identification. The moment we are identified with the gross body, the world is created. So when the world is created and when the world is going to be concluded, 21st December 2012? No. The moment we are disidentified from the body, the world disappears. We get identified with the body, the world is created. See friends, can this body, which is never ours, it is something like, the rent control rule. You get into the house and never come out. Kya karna hai kar lo. Exactly the same way. The body created by somebody, we just entered as if, and then I am the body. Therefore, the body never claims that we belong to you, and we only go on talking the body is ours. Therefore, Shabdadi Panchakasya se naivasi. None of them are yours, nor you belong to them. Tvameva paramam tattva. But you are the essence which is supporting everything in this world, which is present and which is absent. See friend, this is one of the most important topic in Vedanta. It is called as the Avasthatraya Vivek. When we talk about our life, we normally take only the waking experience as the only component of our life, as a valid component. What about the dream and the deep sleep? That we never take into account. You read anybody's autobiography. They talk about, I was born such and such place, I don't know why, but some way or the other I was born. And then I started growing first vertically, then horizontally, and one day God's grace came and I died. So who was this I? Only I, the body. But is our life only the waking experience? Our life includes waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi. So unless all the four components are included in our autobiography is wrong. See friends. Therefore here the teacher says, Tvameva paramam tattvam. The waking world comes, it is illumined in my light and it goes away. But I don't go anywhere. The dream world comes, all good and bad experiences, they go away. But I don't go anywhere. The deep sleep comes, but I never sleep. The samadhi clicks and disturbs. I never get click or disturbed. See friends, analyze this statement. Who can make this statement? I had a good sleep, but sometimes I had bad dreams in between. Who can make this statement? Mr. Waker cannot make this statement because he was not in the deep sleep, nor was he in the dream. But still this statement is made. Who makes this statement? The one who was present in the deep sleep, but he was not sleeping. Therefore he can say that I had a good sleep. The same principle which illumined the good and bad aspects of the dream and yet was never a dreamer. Now the same reality in the waking is also saying the same thing. And yet we say, I want to realize I don't know the self. In Panchadashi Kar uses a very strong language. To such a muddy-headed fool, what the scriptures can talk. When somebody says, I don't have tongue in my mouth, can somebody make a statement like this? The one who has a tongue in the mouth, he will never make a statement because he has a tongue. And he who doesn't have a tongue in the mouth, he can never talk. In the same manner, to say that I have not realized, I don't know the self, I don't know God. Can there be more bluff than this? Therefore, unnecessarily, Tvameva paramam tattvam ataha kim paritapyase. Why are you suffering yourself in this world? We are not here to suffer. English. We are here to suffer in Hindi. Hindi ki suffer karo. We are here only for celebration and not calibration. Every small little thing makes a disturb. See friends, so many have come and gone, but we feel that we are come here for eternity. Therefore friends, keep this principle in mind. All spiritual practice is this. If you are at peace with yourself, you are at peace with the whole world. If you are at peace with yourself, you are happy. And a happy person can never be destructive. Can never be. Those who are frustrated inside, those who are disgusted, a total failure, jealous, such people, they cannot tolerate if somebody is happy. So if somebody, somewhere, a big celebration is going on, such frustrated people will go and create chaos. Because they themselves are miserable. They cannot tolerate anybody to be happy. See friends, kim paritapyase. Never justify yourself being miserable. It is not possible. We only give undue weightage to some experiences. See, when you calculate anything with reference to many parameters, you have to give the weightage to every parameter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Suppose there is x1, x2, x3, x4 parameters. Then if you want to come to a particular quotient, then we give weightage. x1, 0.25 weightage, then x2, 0.10 weightage. And in this manner we give weightage and then we calculate a valid value in the same manner. How much weightage we give to small little things? If we give maximum weightage to small little things, we will be miserable. But find out of the total life that we have lived, how many happy moments we had that we forget. Only small little things, that only we remember. See friends, therefore, kim paritapyase, refuse to be miserable. Janma mrityurnate chittam bandha moksho shubha shubho katham rodisire vatsa nama rupam nate name. Vatsa means when a mother calls her child or when a father calls her child. You must have seen. The child is a girl. But the mother and the father call them as beta. Beta, tum kaise ho? She is a beti. But they call her beta. Okay? Out of immense love, the child is at the same is vatsa. Vatsa means the love that is between the mother and the child. That love is called as vatsalya. And the child is called as vatsa. So my dear child, na janma na mrityurte. Neither you have any time, any birth, nor have you ever died. Come to recognize this principle. We can be afraid of something if we have experienced that. See? Suppose we have, caught hold of a snake. I'll tell you my experience many years before. Therefore, I got a fear of snake in my mind. Once I was swimming somewhere, must be many years before, and I was floating in the waters, and it was a well. It was not a swimming pool and all kind of thing. It was a ordinary well. And when I was swimming, one snake came and started encircling my leg, which was like this. And when it was doing, I didn't realize. And when I said, what is that? And then I did, and there was a big snake. I tell you, I ran out of that swimming place as if the snake is running after me. From that day onward, snake, the very word frightens you because I had experience. Now, do we have the experience of our death? Why are we afraid? Think, friends. Because we see other bodies dying and we have taken ourselves to be a body and therefore we are afraid. First establish, can we be this wretched body or not? Other way of looking at it. If you take yourself to be body, never mind. But then accept all the attributes of the body as your attributes. So if the body is born, yes, you are born. Then the body dies, you will die. Accept it. But our problem is, we accept ourselves to be body, but we don't want to die. How can you have this way? This kind of demand, prescription is like one lady who came from US, and this happened in Delhi. And she told me, Swamiji, I want to go and buy saris. I said, come on, you go and buy. No, you come with me. I said, I had never gone to a sari shop in my whole life. No, you don't have to do, you simply come. I feel confident when you are around. So the people take me for ride for anything. So I went. And I said, now you suffer. I took newspaper and very air-conditioned shop and I was reading. After about half an hour, then she came, Swamiji, I want your help. I said, I don't give money to anybody. No, not that way. My help is that, you explain to this salesperson, he doesn't understand. I said, Brahman or Brahma Sutra or Upanishad, what should I explain? No, what I want to tell, he doesn't understand. I said, okay. Yes. Then she told me, Swamiji, you tell him, I want this texture, this design, this border, that color, this value in one sari. Ram. What is available that you buy straight away. In the same manner, as a body, we want to live eternally. It is not possible. See how simple it is. If you accept yourself body, nothing wrong, accept. But then accept everything. Therefore, come to cognize, we never have experienced our birth. We never have experienced our death. And yet, happy birthday to you. To whom? See, once I had an experience of going through a maternity ward. One of my friend, he had a fight with the nurse, and I had to go there and see whether his wife has delivered, everything is okay. Morning, 2, 3 o'clock, he called me and I went there. The nurse said, I will not allow that man to get in. I said, look here, that is his baby. Let him go. No, I can allow you, not him. So my friend said, Swamiji, at least you go and see, I don't know what happened. So I went and I said, that is the lady. So she went and saw the band, 420. And then she said, this is the baby. Squirrel type. From that day onward, I have no attraction for the children. They only say, you know, during childhood, only gadhe ka bachcha looks sundar. After seeing that child, I came out and then I said, thank you sister, you are so kind. I said, you know, I am a Swami, so I just want to know, increase my general knowledge. Because this opportunity I will never get. What is that? When the child was born, she said that the child was born at 1:38. Very good, I'll note it. Now I am not arguing with you, okay? For my general knowledge, please tell me, when half a dozen ladies are throwing the babies out, do you sit there with a clock? How do you know exactly it is 1:38? She looked at me. You are smart, Swami. I said, anyway, tell me. See, if we tell 1:30, nobody will believe us. Suppose we said the child is born at 10 o'clock. They will not believe us. We have to tell 8:55. So the date of birth is fake. The time is useless. And then I am born. And then we make the kundali. And in that kundali we find out, क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. See friends, nave janma nate mrityu. Never we have ever born, nor we ever died. Similarly, nati chittam, even the mind is not yours. See, if the mind is yours, it should listen to you, is it not? The mind never listens to us because it is never ours. The mind belongs to the world. It is constantly running after the world. The moment the mind is arrested from running in the world, the mind dies away. The mind never belongs to us. Similarly, Bandha Moksha Shubha Shubha. Never there was a bondage, never there was a liberation. Nothing is auspicious, nothing is inauspicious. It is only the tradition where we live, we start imagining this is right and that is wrong. See, if you go to the traditional food serving system, you go in, let us say, Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, the first thing they serve you is a sweet dish and then other things. If you come to the Ikade Maharashtra, first they will serve you the salt. If you go to Punjab, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Anybody will come and put anything anywhere and you have to search what you have to eat. So the South Indians will say, these Punjabis have no culture. And Punjabis will say, the South Indians, they eat food, they go on playing, you know, as if they're swimming in that, and up to here it comes. So one person thinks his things are right, it is only where you are brought up. In this world there is nothing like Shubha or the Ashubha, good or bad. It's only our own imagination and projection. Similarly, Bandha Moksha. We only imagine that I am miserable because I don't have a wife. Imagination. Then that imagination takes a solid form. We get married. Then another imagination. There was a man, he boarded a flight and he heard a voice. Don't enter this flight, it is going to crash. So he came out. I can't go, I got a chest pain, I don't know whether it is. He is unloaded. That flight gets crashed. Thank God, saved. Then he has to go by train. Gets into the train, again the same voice. Don't go by this train, this is going to meet with an accident. Again he comes out, the train goes into accident. Then he goes into a Volvo. The moment he gets the same message. Don't get into this bus, it is going to have a very bad accident. That time this man is very angry. Hey man, whosoever you may be, where did you disappear when I got married? Every time you gave me a caution, but when I got married, where did you disappear? Then this man starts thinking, if I separate, I will be happy. These are all mental predictions that I am in bondage and I am liberated. Friends, I was telling Sham while coming, I was in China and there was one girl, Ivy, very sweet girl. And after 2-3 days, then I asked her, I said, hey, I want to ask you something. Will you mind if it is a political thing? No, you ask Swamiji, now we have become friends. Very good. I said, you are not allowed to talk anything politically, you don't have political freedom. So, what do you feel? She gave me the highest wisdom of the world, casually. She said, you can talk and suffer, we silently suffer. Tell me, is democracy making us really happy? Who is happy in democracy? See, friends. Therefore, this world has always been like this. Earlier, the kings were taking our life away. Start from Rama or your Krishna and Mahabharata. What was happening there? Cousin and brothers. Is it not happening today? This has always been like this. Is nothing worth wasting our time on this world. Therefore, Bandha Moksha Shubhashu, Katham Rodisi Revatsa. Why you become miserable because of this world? This is another thumb rule. Please practice it. Those who become miserable because of others, they are the fools of the highest order. Never become miserable because of others. We are no business. If somebody is miserable, if you can, you go and help. If you cannot, don't go and do jugalbandi. Become more miserable with him. No. So, Katham Rodishire Vatsa Nama Rupam Nate Name. Neither you have any name nor you have any form. We only imagine this is my name. And then slowly get attached to that name to such an extent that name becomes identical with us. And if somebody says that name, immediately we become identical. Therefore, this is only our mental block. Let us get rid of it. Aho chitta kadam bhrantaha pradhavasi pishachavat abhinnam paschachatmanam ragatyaga sukhi bhava. Aho chitta. Hey, oh my dear mind, why are you getting deluded? And go on imagining, if I go to that ashram, I will be very happy. If I go to Himalayas, I will be able to do meditation. Friends, don't go to do tapasya anywhere else. What is the tapasya? What is the sadhana? We invite problems. That is tapasya. Normally, we sleep on a very comfortable bed. No, I am doing tapasya. I will be sleeping only on the grass mattress. On the floor. Tapasya. When it is winter, I won't put on warm clothes. Why? Tapasya. If it is summer, all around fire. And in the sun, on the sand, I will be sitting. Agre, Vanni, Prishpe, Bhanu, Ratro, Chubuka, Samarpita, Janu, all kind of tapasya. Instead of torturing like this artificially, accept the natural conditions as tapasya. Be happy with your wife. Highest tapasya. If you can learn this principle, you have done all the spiritual practice. Like, many of us go for jogging. So go for running and come back. Instead of doing that, inside the house, etc., if you are staying on the 10th floor, keep on walking. You don't have to go for jogging anywhere. There we go by the lift and then we go for jogging. You have to see the TV, remote control. Go there and come back. Go there and come back. 1 kilometer easy ho jata. Don't create problems. Therefore, aho chitta katham brantaham pradhavasi pishachavat abhinnam paschajatmanam. Come to cognize that you are the reality. Be attentive. Desires happen under 3 conditions, because of which we become activated and we become extremely exhausted in life. The 3 conditions are: number 1, we imagine we are incomplete. Number 2, a sense of otherness. Number 3, the third projection. The incompleteness is because I do not have such and such thing or such and such person. This imagination about the world is called as a desire. And once we are under the desire pressure, we just cannot but get into action. See, friends. And how it starts? From the sense of incompleteness. In the deep sleep, there is no sense of otherness, there is no sense of incompleteness, and therefore there is no desire. Because there is no desire, there is nobody. And because there is nobody, there are no thoughts. And because there are no thoughts, there is only bliss without reason. That is our essential nature. Therefore, aho chitta katham bhranta pradhavasi pishachavat. See, mind cannot survive, like any one of us cannot survive without taking food. So what is the food for the mind? The food for the mind is thoughts. And the thoughts are of 2 types. Those with reference to the smriti or the memories of the past. And those with reference to the future, worries about the future. These 2 things are the diet for the mind. See? If you just try this thing, take a firm resolution. I shall not talk even 1 hour before what happened in my life or in anybody's life. I shall not worry about what is going to happen in the future. You are in the utter present. When we are in the utter present, mind disappears. Now, who wants one's own death? Nobody wants. Then what the mind does? This type of thought we have heard when I went to, Rishikesh for that camp. There also the same Swami was, here's the lecture is going on. You have already gone to Rishikesh. This is how the mind doesn't allow us to stay in the present. This trick of the mind, come to recognize. And this is what Yoga Shastra tells us, that we have to have pratyahara. What is pratyahara? The mind is not allowed to leak out through the faculties and asked to remain within. See, there are 3 aspects in our personality according to yoga: outer, inner, and in between door. The outer sadhana is, Vairanga sadhana is Yama Niyama Asana Pranayam, it is outside. Inside is Dharana Dhyan Samadhi on the mind. In between is the Pratyahara. Unless the Pratyahara is perfectly practiced, our mind will be going here and there. Therefore, Abhinnam Paschajatmana Ragatyagat Sukhi Bhava. Give up your unwanted attachment to anything or being in this world. Now be very attentive. First, let us understand what is the meaning of attachment. Is it like, our ladies, they put the .com on their forehead. Is that way that mind is attached to something? No. What is attached? This principle I discovered many years before. I was somewhere and I was supposed to stay in that place, and that place was so dirty, so I wanted to clean, but they will not allow me to clean, and I used to get so angry, disgusted, frustrated. So when I will sit for meditation, only the thoughts about the dirt will come, not about God. And I suffered for almost 6 months. One day it clicked. Hey, what for I am here? For cleaning the room outside or for cleaning the garbage inside? See friends, once we become aware of this principle, that higher the frequency of thoughts run towards anything in this world, we are more attached to that. Attachment is how much thought energy we invest for anything else. Now, absence of attachment means what? When we have zero thoughts about anything, that is called as no attachment. Take example. When we walk somewhere morning or evening time and our shadow is falling on the ground, and if on that shadow a truck runs away, do we feel bad about it? Or if the shadow falls on the Lord Shiva directly, do we feel how lucky, that directly Shiva was touched? No. We even don't think about it because the shadow is not given a status of reality. Think friends, attachment means what? We give a status of reality to something and thereafter it starts troubling us. See, last time I told you an example. Somewhere I was called for dinner. So I said, okay, I'll come with 3-4 Kamandalu. Swamiji, if you don't mind, please come alone. We want to have some family satsang. So for our Papi Pet, we have to do every type of drama. I said, okay, I went there. Now that man told me, Swamiji, actually, I had never wanted that particular man to come to my house. Because I hate him. I said, it's okay, as long as you give me food, it's fine. And then I did not say one word, but I was smiling. He said, why are you smiling? I said, because you have cut such a beautiful joke. No, I didn't cut a joke. I said, you did. You don't know that you have cut a joke. What joke it was? He asked. I said, look here, you said, you hate him so much, so that he should not come to your house. But he is in your heart. When you hate somebody, that buddy is seated in your heart. And when that buddy is seated in your heart, do you think there will be tickling? No, there will be welcome. Oh God, why do it? Therefore, attachment means giving value to anything in this world. No attachment means devalue. A person who is attached to cigarette means what? He cannot think about living without the mobile Agnihotra. What is smoking? You all know, isn't it? Dhumrapanam, Shatagodanam. When you offer a cigarette to somebody, it is equivalent to offering 100 cows in Dakshina. Dhumrapanam, Shatagodanam, Ek Kash Ganga Snanam. And the same person, when he is told that if you don't stop smoking, reserve your crematorium queue. Is it that bad, doctor? Yes. Then we start getting detached to that. This is one way of understanding attachment. Second way. Second way is more intelligent. First one is dumb. Now find out, are we really attached to something? It is not. It is only a word. See? Colors and forms we see by the eyes. Is the vision attached to any particular color and form? No. Therefore, it can eliminate every color and form. Our hearing ability, not attached to any particular sound, therefore can eliminate every kind of sound. Go to the mind. Mind is not attached to any particular theme, and therefore mind can run in so many topics continuously. And the last and the most important, the conscious self that we are, not attached to the waking, the dream, the deep sleep and samadhi, like the space. The space is not attached to the raining clouds, the space is not attached to the thundering clouds, the space is not attached to the darkness or the light, and the space is not attached to the blue sky, no clouds. This is the real meaning of giving up attachment. Come to discover we are not attached to anything. It is an illusion that we are attached. So don't struggle without that. How it is possible? It is possible. Don't hold on to anything. Therefore, abhinna paschajatmanam ragatyaga sukhi bhava. Give up your attachment by proper understanding and sukhi bhava, be happy. Underline. See, the most miserable search is the search for happiness. The moment you stop searching, there you are. Therefore, sukhi bhava, tvameva tattvam hi vikaravarjitam, nishkampamekam hi vimoksha vigraham, nate charago yatava viragaha, gatam hi sampatyasi santapyasi kama kamataha. Tvameva tattvam hi vikaravarjitam. You are the reality. Don't think of God somewhere above the clouds. Friends, Tattva is that which doesn't have any shape. Nirguna Nirakar. Take for example. Our vision has no shape, and therefore vision can illuminate every shape. See, our mind has no shape. Therefore, it can take the shape of the sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, all the five kinds of objects. The consciousness doesn't have any shape. Therefore, it can support the human body, the animal body, the insects, the trees and the stones. It is not obsessed with anything. Therefore, tvameva tattvam. When we are in the deep sleep, what is our shape? What is our size? What is our weight? None. But we don't experience in the absence of the shape, the size, the weight and the age. In the absence of this, we don't experience our absence in the deep sleep. This eternal presence is our essential nature. Tvameva tattvam vikara vargitam. There are no vikara, there are no modifications. This is the basic difference between the approach according to yoga and Vedanta. Yoga talks about working on the Prakriti, and therefore they talk about concentration of mind. Vedanta says don't do that. Then remain in awareness. See? Concentrate on your breathing. I is born. How long we have to concentrate? 10 hours. This is too much. Okay. Then remain aware of your breathing. Breathing is happening. You are not doing anything. When we remain aware of breathing, which is just happening, I is not created. And when the I is not created, there you are. Vikara vargitam. Nishkampam ekam hi vimoksha vigraham. Nishkampa. There are no changes, there is no movement. See? One of the simple technique is this. Yesterday I told you, do this dharana. Play meditation as what will be the experience of the space. What it is like being a space. Try. Your mind will suffocate because the mind cannot comprehend the space. Mind can survive only if there are forms or there are sounds. Forms are limited. The formless is unlimited. The sounds are limited. The silence is unlimited. When the mind is exposed to the infinite, the mind dissolves in the infinite. That is the reason why the mind is either thinking about the forms or the names. So, Nishkampamekam. So like the space is Nishkampa, no movement, no change, and Ekam. Forms are many, space is one. Sounds are many, silence is one. Both the forms and the sounds are supported by the space. And the space, although supporting everything, remains untouched by them, and therefore Vimoksha Vigraham, be attentive. Because of the southern direction, we are told that when you sleep, don't face your feet to the south. It is not auspicious. Ask the space. For the space, there is nothing like north, south, east, west, nothing auspicious, nothing non-auspicious. Therefore, Vimoksha Vigraham, you are always liberated. You are never bound. Natecha rago yathava viragaha. And never you are attached to anything in this life. Be attentive. Our childhood has come and gone. Are we attached to that? Then the teenage has come and gone. Are we attached? No. In the same manner, every day passes away. We continue to be the same. Come to recognize this principle, which is supporting all the changes, but which is not influenced by any change. Nate charago yatava viragaha katham hi sampattisi kama kamataha. Then why are you suffering because of desiring so many things? Friends, if desires were normal for our mind, we will never like to remove the desires. See? If the glasses were normal to our eyes, like the eyes are normal to the face. See the difference? So now and then we want to remove, clean it, and then see, oh, it's too heavy. But do we remove? Eyes are not removed. No. Because they are normal to us. In the same manner, here the teacher says that katham samtapyasi kama kamataha. If the desires are normal to the mind, we will not like to remove the desires. But what is our total life? Only fulfillment of the desires. And what is the fulfillment of a desire? Removal of the desire. Fulfillment of the desire is nothing but the removal of the desire. And yet, we have never learned that fulfillment of the desire has never taken us to the ultimate fulfillment of life. It has never taken us. And yet, our whole life is only, I want this, I want that. Take a simple example. Even if we have a simple, silly desire, I want to sleep. Till such time, the desire is there, I will be there. Until such time, I and the desires are, the sleep never begins. When even the desire to sleep disappears, along with that, Mr. I also goes. What remains is only the sleep. See, friends. Therefore, katham santapyasi kama kamataha. The real spiritual practice is freedom from desires, not fulfilling the desires. Otherwise, we are going the wrong way. And then, when one lady came to me somewhere in a temple, I had finished my lecture, suddenly she came, Swamiji, I don't believe in God. And I said, Mama, come close. I don't want to talk before everybody. In her ear I told, I also don't believe. हवा निकल गई. You don't believe? I said, then why do you come here and give lecture? I said, profession. It is my professional hazard. I have to come here. So you also don't believe in God? I said, no. Then I said, let us shake hands. We are friends. Are we obliging God by believing in God? Does He need our recognition? Get this point. When we go to the temple, is the God wanting us? We want Him. Apply this principle. When we go and help somebody, nobody wants our help. It is our need to help others. When we come for meditation, do you think Paramanandaji wants? It is our need we have come. I come here every year, first week of every month, every year. Do you think that he ever wanted? Never. It is my need. Therefore, I go on using the Amul therapy and ultimately it works. Because it is my need. If you are not there, will I talk to the trees or what? The day this principle we take in life, the desire virus will disappear. Therefore, katham hi santapyasi kama kamataha. Further, the teacher continues in the 20th mantra, Vadanti Shrutaya Sarvaha Nirgunam Shuddham Avyam Ashariram Samam Tattvam Tanmam Viddhina Samtayaha. Sarva Shrutayaha Vadanti Shuddham Avyam Nirgunam Ashariram Samam Tattvam. All the scriptures tell the same thing, that the truth is beyond all the names and forms. What is the meaning of beyond names and forms? Does it mean we should hate the names and forms? Or we should go beyond the names and forms? Now understand this principle. The truth is explained in our scriptures in the following manner. The truth is Nirguna Nirakara, without attributes and without form. Second, the truth is Saguna Nirakar, with attributes and without form. And the third, the reality is with attributes and with form. All the three are necessary. Nothing is wrong in this world. It is something like, a small child goes to the school. And when he is taught number counting and summation, so he is not directly told, imagine 3 plus 5 is how much. No, he is told 1, now another 1, now how many? 1, 2. So when these baby things are taught to the child, it is not wrong. That is the only way he can understand. He can't understand the concept without developing the faculty. Exactly the same way. So far, we are functioning in the body as the body. We cannot understand the divine principle without name and form. And therefore, Saguna Sakar, God with the form, God with the name. Then when we evolve, after evolution, then the same Paramatma is the Saguna Nirakara, the inner controller without form. Like the mind is the inner controller for all the faculties. Like the eyes have got a shape. What is the shape of the mind? What is the shape of the vision? No shape. So the mind is inner controller. This is the quality attribute, but Nirakar. This is the second stage which is used in the Yoga Shastra. Then the third stage comes, Vedanta. Nirgun Nirakar. Nirgun Nirakar means the one in which all the names and forms are superimposed, but because of the superimposition, the names and forms have never contaminated. This absolute reality is beyond the names and forms. Now, if I have come to this last point, will I condemn the earlier two? If I condemn the earlier two, I have not come to the last point. To understand that the gold is without form, without name, without shape, is it necessary that we have to melt all the ornaments? No necessity. In the same manner, this Paramatma Tattva is Vadanti Sutaya Sarva Nirgunam Shuddham Avyayam. None of the attributes of the three gunas, and immaculate, Avyayam, never changing, Ashariram, beyond the limitations of the body, Samam Tattvam, is one common denominator in all things and beings. Tan Mam Vidhi Na Samsaya. Come to recognize this is the real meaning of I. We all are seeing electricity right from childhood. What is our understanding of electrical energy? Because it is always going through the wires, we imagine electrical energy is like in the wire. But energy does not have any shape. Energy does not have any attribute. Energy can be recognized only from the effect. Kindly check whether there is electricity or not. So what do? We switch on a bulb. If there is light, so what is light? Light is not electricity. Light is a manifestation of electricity. So from the light we infer that there is electrical energy. No, you touch and find out. No need. Because the energy does not have any of the attributes, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha. In this manner, Ashariram Samam Tattvam Tanmam Vidhi Na Samsayaha. Come to recognize yourself to be, although expressing through the body, but beyond the limitations of the body. This is all, friends. If we have to recognize the mind, how do we recognize? That which is expressing through the eyes as a vision is the mind. Next. When the eyes are closed, vision disappears. Has anything happened to the mind? No. So the mind is independent of the vision, the hearing, or anything. In the same manner, the conscious principle, the absolute reality, expressing through the body as a mind, thereafter enlivening the body. Whether the body is alive or dead, it makes no difference to this conscious principle. Come to recognize this, then Mam Vidhi Na Samsaya. Don't leave any doubt in your mind. Sakaram Anrutam Vidhi Nirakaram Nirantaram Etat Tattvopadesena Punarbhava Sambhavaha. So Sakaram Anrutam Vidhi. All the forms are merely appearances, they are not real. See? And Nirakaram, the one which is supporting all the forms, that alone is the reality. Etat Tattvopadeshana. This is the ultimate instruction about the truth. So don't hold on to anything particular. Friends, spiritual practice does not mean we have to become special. Give up all the speciality. Do we have less load of speciality? We are man, woman, young, old, Hindu, Muslim, Indian, non-Indian, educated, uneducated. In that we add one more burden, is spiritual. In our UP, so is pronounced with E. star, smile, speak, station. That is why they say istri, which is very hot. Let us come to recognize this. There is nothing that we are becoming extraordinary. No. When all the attributes are given up, then only the truth is revealed. This is what Avadhuta tells us. See, the definition of Avadhuta on the first day I told that Aksharatvat, the one which is never destroyed, Aksharatvat, Varanyatvat, the one which is worthy of seeking, Dhuta Samsara Bandhanat, although expressing through the relativity, yet not getting influenced by the relativity, Dhuta Samsara Bandhanat, and Tattvamasyadi Laksharthat. And the meaning of the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, he is established in his experience. He is called as the Avadhut. For the space to recognize it is space, the space doesn't have to reject the north, east, west, south. For the actor to recognize he is a miserable pati and not the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, while even acting on the stage, he doesn't have to remove that. Even while the makeup is on, he may be telling God Gela and something Allah. Never mind. He has to go and carry half kg of bindi. Nothing else. There God Allah, bindi Allah. And living in this understanding is the life of the Avadhut. See, friends. Therefore, Sakaram Anhritam Vidhi, all the forms and names, don't give much importance to that. Not giving importance means both. Don't be obsessed and don't destroy them. Both. How we are obsessed? One UP girl got married to a Gujarati house, and when she went there, Gujarati means Jai Shri Krishna, UP means Jai Shri Ram. Now poor girl was frustrated. Swamiji, I was in Ahmedabad. Swamiji, I got this problem. What problem? Everybody has a problem. Marriage itself is a problem. Marriage is a mirage. It's a wrong spelling. So, my problem is, in our house, right from childhood, we have been talking about Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, and here we have come everywhere, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. I try to confuse. Even I am standing before Krishna, I say Jai Shri Ram. Now what will happen? I said, why you worry? He will get confused. Don't get worried. See, the idea is you should not get disturbed. Let others be disturbed. Therefore, Sakaram Anhritam Vidhi, whether you call it as Rama or Krishna or Allah or Ishvara or Jesus, is one and the same. Friends, don't get carried away by all the differences. Those who talk of differences, they are ignorant babies. They deserve sympathy, not hatred. So, etat tattvopadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. There is no further suffering in this world with this perfect understanding. Ekameva samam tattvam vadanti hi vipaschitaha ragatyagat punah chittam ekanekam na vidyate. Vipaschitaha, those who are established in this experience, ekameva samam tattvam vadanti, they talk about but one reality. See? You know what is the meaning of one reality? I don't know if I told you. One couple I met after 15 years of marriage. And I was present for their marriage also. Swamiji, you have to sort out all differences. I said before that, do you remember what I told you 15 years before? Now you are married, you are not two, you are one. Yes, that is the only Upadesh which is creating problem in our house. What is the problem? The problem is which one? Whether me or she, that is the problem. In the same manner, here only in Bombay somewhere there was a very big function. And there are about 4 or 5 Swamis were called. I was also one of them. Prempuri Ashram was organized. Something, modern society and realization, all funny kind of things, but we fit everywhere. I went. First Swami spoke in Gujarati, second spoke in Hindi, third was imported. Even the Swamis, when they are having a imported stamp, then only they are good, otherwise they are not good. So one imported brand also came. He was probably from California and a Westerner, a white Swami. And his name was Vivekananda. And he started, actually God is one, we are unnecessarily fighting. And after going around, beating around the bush, he concluded. Then the organizer said, now we request Swamiji to speak, and about language, we don't know what language he has to tell, he can decide. So I started. I said, I'll talk in English so everybody understands, or doesn't understand. And then I told this story. One. God is one, but my God is one, not your God is one. See, friends, the whole problem is only here. Therefore, ekameva samam tattvam vadanti vipaschitaha. Then ragatyaga, the moment you give attachment and obsessions to any name and form, then the mind again reverts back to one. Mind is one. When goes out through the 5 senses, it becomes as if 5. But when the objects are received through the 5 senses, again it gives only one knowledge. In the same manner, because of the upadhis, one appears to be many, but essentially ragatyaga punaha chittam eka anekam na vidyate. Because we entertain many thoughts, the mind as if has become many. If you entertain one thought, mind disappears. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, prana bandhana liyate mana. But how is the control of the mind by pranayam? Like birds are caught in a net and they are being carried away. How long the birds will remain in the net? Till the net is intact. You must have read that story. Then a rat comes and he cuts the net and all the birds fly away. In the same manner, as long as the curfew of pranayama is going on, till then alone the mind is under control. After the curfew of pranayama is over, dhum dhadaka begins. So, first by pranayam attain a relative temporary quietness. But don't get merged into that. That is why many students, when they sit for meditation, they go to sleep without efforts. What is the reason? They have trained only one thing to their mind. When there are no thoughts, go to sleep. When the mind is relatively quiet, don't allow it to go to sleep. Chitta vritti nirodha is not ultimate. When the mind is relatively quiet, then apply the relatively quiet mind in the inquiry of the one. Eka chintana. And when we apply the mind for inquiring about the one, now start applying to this mind to one. What is one? Objects are 5. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Hold on to one object, the colors and forms. So you have dropped all the 4 objects. One you are holding. Then colors and forms are many. The vision which is eliminating them is one. So you drop the colors and forms, come to the vision. When you come to the vision, vision also is sometimes good, sometimes bad, some diseases, healthy, unhealthy. They are also many. Mind is one. Come to the mind. Then mind has got many thoughts, but the conscious light eliminating the many thoughts is one. Thus, eka chintana. We start from the multiplicity and end up in the one. And when the mind dives deep within itself, the same mind is consciousness. If we are swimming on the surface of the sea, there will be buffeting by the waves. But in the same place where we were buffeted up and down, go little deep into the sea, 5, 10, 15 feet, no wave, no nothing. In the same manner, when we are on the surface of the knowledge, waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi continues. But when we go deep within, there is neither waking, nor dream, nor deep sleep, nor samadhi. There is but one absolute conscious reality. And this has to be recognized only once in lifetime. Only once. And once we recognize this, thereafter play the game of life. See? We don't have to learn it 100 times. Like the swimming, we don't have to learn every time. Once only we learn. Here, there is one swimming pool many years before. One of the instructor was my friend. So he told me, Swamiji, you come for swimming, I'll teach you. I said, okay, I went. And changing the things, I said, let us jump from there. He said, Swamiji, you don't know how to swim. How can you jump? I said, you are there, why should I worry? So we went up there. And then I said, I will hold your hand and we'll jump together. And 1, 2, 3, he jumped, I left his hand. Then he said, what about you? I said, now I'll come, now I know nothing happens. But you don't know how to swim. I said, so what? You are there. And I jumped. And I know swimming very well. I went deep inside, came out the other side. Who, you know swimming? I said, look here, I learned swimming 40 years before. I thought I might have forgotten. Then he said, Swamiji, swimming is never learned twice. You cannot forget it because you don't learn it by mind. See, friends, exactly the same way. We don't recognize our divine being through the agency of thoughts. Only once we have to recognize. Thereafter, there is no fear of fall. That is why Avadhuta's life is totally different. So, Ragatyaga Punaha Chittam Anekam Navid.